Hey, peace and power, family. This is your brother Shakim. I'm in Arquette, right back at you once again. Today, unfortunately, there's a subject that it seems like I shouldn't even have to discuss. And what you have is a national epidemic at America's favorite pizzeria, actually known as Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, Chuck E. Cheese.
I just wanted to get away from all. Who wants to be involved in, like, damn, somebody really up here shooting at a Chuck E. Cheese? Come on, man.
It's ignited a conversation that a lot of us, we've seen pictures and video on social media. We've seen, actually, some of us have probably even been there at times, but we have families and friends getting into verbal, physical, and deadly altercations at a children's restaurant, a place where they are supposed to be celebrating birthday parties and having fun. You have people that are getting murdered and, I mean, leaving out in body bags, unfortunately. Um, when I did the research for this particular segment, I was astonished at some of the things that I saw. And as a matter of fact, I probably had over 2 million hits when I Googled up or, went on YouTube and searched for Chuck E. Cheese fights or violence at Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, the numbers were amazing. And I definitely had over 2 million hits. What actually led to me doing this was here in my city, Charleston, South Carolina, on November the 4th of 2018, in West Ashley section, one person was actually murdered, and he was with his children, y'all. I mean, what are we supposed to do at this point? You had a guy, wonderful, awesome family man. Just, I mean, how can you justify shooting or murdering somebody at a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant? And the individual who was murdered, he wasn't a bad man. So you can't put the bad guy tag on him or stereotype on him. He was a father with his children. At approximately 9:40 p.m., the Charleston Police Department responded to an incident that occurred at the 1600 block of Sam Rittenberg Boulevard. The victim was only 32 years old, a father, and someone who just loved being around people. Now, the bad part about it is at the same location in 2014, a 22-year-old man was arrested and charged in the shooting of two men in the West Ashley store in Chuck E. Cheese. A judge actually denied him bond. The name of the individual was Thelando Daquan King. Now, after that incident, Chuck E. Cheese did release a statement. They, based in part, basically they said that, they understood that a young man entered into the Chuck E. Cheese. There was a dispute. They got outside. Two men were shot around 8:15 Saturday, October the 11th. They did state that they were thankful for law enforcement and authorities for quickly coming and subduing the information. They said that the safety of their guests and employees is a primary concern. They understand that the families take it as a primary concern. They stated that they endeavor to take great measures for children and family members to experience, the pleasure of being around their children and, just watching them have fun. They stated that they employ security guards. They do the Kids Check program. They have active security cameras and additional safety precautions. They said that it's transparent to their guests to encourage an environment where a kid can be a kid. Now, speaking about places where a kid can be a kid, I saw, and I actually remember this being in South Carolina, November 2017, there was a brawl in a Chuck E. Cheese inside Columbia, South Carolina. Over 12 people were caught, on this brawl in Columbia, South Carolina at a local Chuck E. Cheese. In the video, you can clearly see an elderly person in the middle of an altercation along with a man with a child. On social media, there were claims that the fight started when another woman mistakenly photobombed another who was using a ride that basically took pictures. She said the lady photobombed her, and that was a reason for the fight. However, there were some other reports stating that it started when a woman was attempting to stop others from actually getting on the ride. Whatever provoked the woman from blocking the rest of everybody else from using the ride was totally unclear. And at the end of the day, there's no justifiable excuse. Whether somebody photobombed your picture or there was another woman stopping somebody from using the ride, that's not a excuse to have a knockdown, drag-out brawl in the middle of Chuck E. Cheese. In suburban Chicago, at a Chuck E. Cheese, they actually had to be shut down. Yes, Chuck E. Cheese was shut down. Local authorities said they had responded to, per year, 50 911 calls to Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, city officials said they had to close down a Chuck E. Cheese in suburban Chicago because there were 50 911 calls per year for the last 4 years. Come on, that sounds worse than many nightclubs in the area. The final incident that actually occurred to Chuck E. Cheese being closed, there was a victim. He said he was leaving Chuck E. Cheese, and all of a sudden, a black Jeep pulled up on side of him, opened fire as the two were heading down the freeway. I mean, and this was at 9 p.m. on a Saturday. So you're now having incidents where people are leaving out of Chuck E. Cheese and just running into an ambush or a drive-by or some sort of dispute, but it was handled outside of Chuck E. Cheese. This is just totally absurd. It has to stop. More research by NBC4 News in Milwaukee. They were concerned about some of the violence happening in their area with Chuck E. Cheese. What they did a Freedom of Information Act request, and they compared the local Chuck E. Cheese with other popular children's pizzerias in the area, trying to find the results. It was astonishing. Listen, Chuck E. Cheese had over 100 more 911 calls than its closest rival, Dave & Buster's, and they had 41. Listen, 100 Chuck E. Cheese calls, 911 Chuck E. Cheese calls. I mean, come on, people. This is totally absurd what's going on. I mean, my children, and I know you want the same for your children, we shouldn't have to go in Chuck E. Cheese and worrying about it turning into a war zone or a crime scene. In no way, shape, or form should this be of concern to us. I mean, we want to see our kids having fun, playing, laughing, booking birthday parties. I don't want to be at a birthday party and next thing you know, I see a group of bandits out here fighting, or I'm dodging bullets or hearing glass shatter because someone has a beef at Chuck E. Cheese. In the Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area, a local news station actually reported in this investigative clip that I'm about to show you that Chuck E. Cheese has received more calls, 911 emergency calls, than their local area gentlemen's club. Watch this clip.
Well, they are some of the most viewed viral videos showing fights between adults at Chuck E. Cheese. Some of them recorded right here in our area. But do videos like these mean the children's entertainment restaurant is dangerous? ABC Action News reporter Clifton French takes a look at police calls to the kids' pizza chain and to local gentlemen's clubs to give you a surprising comparison.
From a child's birthday party to an all-out brawl, you may have seen videos of the opposite scenarios playing out.
Chuck E. Cheese is a getaway for parents and not for children.
Tasha Hill has seen it firsthand.
Due to the fact of your baby did this, my baby did that.
She says she won't come back, but is there really a problem? We wanted to know, how many times do people call for help? We went to 5 locations in 3 counties, pulling the numbers for all of last year. 56 calls to this Chuck E. Cheese in St. Pete, 18 in Wesley Chapel, 18 in Clearwater, 38 at this address in Carrollwood. The busiest spot was here in Brandon, where there were 61 calls.
This is a place where kids go.
But deputies were called 13 times for assaults, batteries, fights, and disturbances at the Brandon location. There were a total of 25 at all of the Chuck E. Cheeses we looked at combined.
We decided to compare other businesses to Chuck E. Cheese's. This local gentleman's club on East Hillsborough Avenue had 0 calls for service in all of 2016.
We also took a look at some more popular adult clubs. Mons Venus on Dale Mabry, the Penthouse Club on West Shore, and Goodies on East Hillsborough had a total of 27 assaults, batteries, fights, and disturbances between them. None of them had more than the Brandon Chuck E. Cheeses. Other popular crimes at Chuck E. Cheese's were theft and car break-ins. Cops were called a total of 19 times at our Chuck E. Cheese's for those incidents.
Unbelievable.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, which had the most calls at their 2 locations, refused our request for an interview. Chuck E. Cheese's sent us this statement saying, in part, "We are committed to the safety of our guests and take great measures to protect the experience children and families have in our restaurant."
I mean, that's sad, isn't it? I mean, what else? What else? I mean, what's going on here? It just brings sadness to my heart when I see children having fun and they're subjected to random acts, not even random, acts of violence. I mean, it's random for them because they're not the intended target. But to see this happening in Chuck E. Cheese with our children is just, it speaks to the fabric of our society and what we've come to. Another sad story in Flint, Michigan, a fight broke out of over 80 people at a local Chuck E. Cheese. Now, the events that are detailed, it's very disturbing. So they said the first call came in around 8:53 p.m. There was a fight among 3 local teenagers. The police department came, the paramedics came. They said they got the fight under control. They had additionally called backup. Nevertheless, they called back and told the backup, okay, y'all don't have to come again. We have everything under control. However, a few minutes later, the officers received a second call saying that, you know what, this has totally blown up. Around 75 to 80 people fighting inside of Chuck E. Cheese, according to the police chief. Now, what really makes the situation even worse, continuing moving forward, a news crew was outside Chuck E. Cheese at the time airing a segment on what happened the following night. They said while they were recording, another fight ended up breaking out. Yes, another fight, including several women, and it escalated to about a group of 10 in that family. I mean, what is going on? How is it that all of this violence is coming and putting our children at risk and our children at danger? There's one clip I saw of, and I'm gonna show it to you now. There's one clip where they were actually shooting inside of Chuck E. Cheese, glass shattering everywhere. I mean, they just literally did a drive-by shooting, just randomly, you know, of course it was not really random because they're trying to kill somebody, but they're just shooting up inside Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, come on, what is actually wrong with us? I mean, and the bad part about it is, most of the fights are between adults. It's the adults that are, you know, it's the adults that are in this behavior. Because it's not like it's 2 9-year-old children fighting. If it was children actually getting into altercation, hey, I mean, I could understand, right? Children are not supposed to be the greatest conflict resolution experts in our society. If you got 2 9-year-olds that get into a little pushing match because, you know, he thought he should be on the ride and the other child jumped on the ride, maybe we can understand that, right? We might can give that a pass because we know children, they like to run around and play. So if that was the case, if that happened in Chuck E. Cheese, totally understandable. I wouldn't have any problem with it. But we have grown adults literally throwing blows, carrying weapons inside of Chuck E. Cheese and killing each other. I saw a video in Miami. I mean, here's the clip. They're actually going to blows. I mean, a literal knockdown, drag out fight in Miami at a Chuck E. Cheese. There was another incident. A guy, he's in Chuck E. Cheese, he accidentally shoots himself. I mean, what is going on? Why do you need, first of all, why do you need to bring your weapon inside of Chuck E. Cheese? He accidentally shot himself. So my question is, why do you even need a gun inside of, I don't care about, you know, all this Second Amendment. I can carry my gun and, you know, I'm a constitutional law-abiding citizen. Get that BS out of here. You are inside Chuck E. Cheese. There should be no reason for you to walk inside a children's pizzeria armed around families who are just having, you know, simple birthday parties or wanting their children to have fun. It's totally unacceptable, people. And as men and women in our society, we need to start zoning in on this type of behavior. It's totally unacceptable. Parents, we have to become more responsible in what we're doing. We should not be losing men and women in Chuck E. Cheese to murder or death. It's totally unacceptable. People, one last plea to society, we got to get it together. We got to get it together, people, one way or another. We cannot continue this current trend that we're seeing now. It is becoming dangerous, it is becoming deadly, and it is extremely unacceptable.
I just wanted to get away from all. Who wants to be involved in, like, damn, somebody really up here shooting at a Chuck E. Cheese? Come on, man.
Shout out to the family of the brother who, just got killed. Y'all are handling it very well. I didn't see anything that would lead me to believe that there would be any further acts of violence, especially at a Chuck E. Cheese. We just want to let y'all know, all the families that lost somebody or have, had to witness acts of violence in Chuck E. Cheese, our empathies and our sympathies go out to, towards you as a family society. We have to fix this immediately. This is a problem. Love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Brother Shakim. I'm in Arquette. Peace and love, family.